Hello.
Yeah, now you are visible.
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Yeah, well, I'm Fidas Fidel, doing great in my life, and thanks for your concern. Have you started recording?
Yeah, I have started recording.
Okay, fine. So now today you are being a host, going to ask a lot of questions to me. Am I right?
Really unprepared. I just started because I hardly get time. So I thought, let's do it because we have been postponing for a very long time. Right. All right.
Yeah,
So,
true.
yes, welcome on my channel, sir. And I have been waiting for a very long time. So, would you mind, as we are meeting for the very first time, so would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. I would be more than happy to introduce myself. My name is Shiv. I born and raised in India, and my native place is Uttarakhand. By profession, I'm a center government employee. As far as my academic qualification concerned, I'm done with my master in English, master in commerce, and I'm pursuing my master in economics. This is my final year. In addition to this, I do teach English as a unofficial English trainer to beginners and intermediate speakers through different online applications. And I run my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv, where I'm uploading spoken English content at the same time some called conversational videos like this, which we are having right now. So that's all from my side in brief.
Okay, perfect. So your you said that, sir. Your native place is Jharkhand, right?
Uttarakhand.
Sorry, Uttarakhand. Okay, I thought you said
Yeah.
Jharkhand.
Yeah.
I was like surprised because I'm from Jharkhand. Yeah,
Okay, okay, fine.
yeah.
So what
So
about you? Would you mind if you introduce yourself a little bit?
yeah, sure. I'm Sufi and speaking to you from Jharkhand. Currently, I'm pursuing graduation. I'm in last year, and along with that, also I'm helping people to improve their spoken English. And my hobbies are interacting with various individuals, and that's it. Like reading books, these things that really brings me joy. These things I'm doing. Yes.
Okay,
So
that's really
yeah,
great.
I have a lot of questions. As you said that you have started helping students, right? Like you have started helping learners, English learners. So tell me those who are completely who is completely beginner. Okay. So what should be their approach? Like from where they should start?
Well, ma'am, I would say it depends on individual because when it comes to beginner, there are so many types of beginners. The
Mhm.
beginner who doesn't know anything about alphabet like A to Z. The beginner who knows about alphabet but he doesn't know how to just make a word out of those alphabet. Sometimes people are aware of vocabularies, words, but they can't even frame the sentences. Sometimes people can frame sentences, but their sentences are not correct. So it depends like what kind of beginner you are dealing with. So what I do usually, first of all, we need to indulge ourselves into evaluation, which means assessment. You have to assess him that what is his level of English, at what standard he is right now, and what exactly he want to do with English. So the level he has and the level he wants to reach on, and the gap, how can we cover the gap, how can we fill the gap? This is something which we need to calculate first. Once our calculation is done, then after we need to identify the flaws he has, which is stopping him in order to cover this gap. Whatever shortcoming he has, now we need to give the best remedy and suggestion in order to overcome with those flaws and shortcomings. Once he is aware of those things that he has to take in order to cover this gap, now second thing he has to do is he has to monitor his each and every single step when he is trying to cover the gap, when he's trying to working on his loopholes. If if he is going on the same direction as he has decided for himself, it means everything is going well. The flaws he has now is able to decrease all those shortcomings. It means everything is perfect. He has to just go with flow. But in by any chance, if he has found, no, I'm not even improving, I'm making the same mistake and again, which I used to do before, then he has to change his strategies. He has to change the process of learning and working on his flaws. So this is how it works. Otherwise, there is a simple channel. First, you have to learn vocabs, basic vocabs. Okay, once you are done with basic vocabularies, then you need to understand how can you frame sentences with the help of those vocabs. If you would reach on that level where you can frame sentences, now you have to accurate your sentence. You have to correct it by getting some basic understanding of functional grammar, which include the basic grammar like tenses, articles, and prepositions. That's it. All right. Once he has done with that as well, now he has to step up his game. How? He has to indulge himself into moderate vocabularies, which called average vocabs, and then he has to start indulging himself into some advanced structure of English. He has to include some advanced rules of English, grammar during his conversation. And yes, confidence is something that he would get by the time the more he would practice. Yeah, that's how it works.
Wow, perfect, sir. You talked about confidence. You talked about the first we need to. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are perfectly audible.
Okay, okay. So first we need to assess learner. Like first we need to evaluate that in which area they are lacking, right? After that, they can work. And if they are thinking that I'm following this approach, but still I'm not able to improve, then they need to change their strategy, right? And third, you talked about confidence. So it comes like by practicing, and over the time we gain confidence, right? When we practiced a lot. Well, sometimes, so they are putting a lot of effort. They think about fluency. Like, how can what I always, I often get this question: how can I gain fluency? What's your views on this? Like, how one can be fluent with language?
Okay, that's a very nice question. I must say that. Now, there are two things. Number one, accuracy. Number two, fluency. Sometime, in fact, most of the time, accuracy and fluency both are interrelated to each other. But still, there is a gap. There are some differences. Now, what is the difference? When I'm saying accuracy deals with your correct grammar. When you are speaking English, it should be correct according to the rule and
Hello,
regulation of grammar.
hello, sir. Sorry for interrupting, but sir, your video is completely blurred, sir. So whatever you are saying, I think it's breaking up.
What about now? Is it okay? Am I audible to you?
You are audible, sir,
Or
but your video is a bit blurred.
I don't know, but I can see you clearly. Like there's no blurriness from my side. I don't know. In my screen, I can see you
Fine.
clearly.
Now it's perfect.
Okay, fine. So I was saying there are two things: accuracy and fluency. When it comes to accuracy, so accuracy simply means you have to speak English correctly with correct grammar. All right. Now, what is fluency? Fluency is something when you are speaking English like a flow of water, like flow of air. Everything comes out from your mouth automatically. You're not putting any extra burden to your head in order to recall some advanced vocabularies. At the same time, the grammar rules which you have to use while spoken English. All right. So I would say fluency is nothing when you can speak English as you can speak in your own native language comfortably, effortlessly, without putting any extra effort in order to recall and remember the vocabs to make some sense. So it is fluency, right? So as you said, like how one can become a fluent speaker. So
Yeah.
definitely it requires some steps that one has to follow in a system with correct grammar. All right. Now, what is fluency? Fluency is something when you are speaking English like a flow of water, like flow of air. Everything is comes out from your mouth automatically. You're not putting any extra burden to your head in order to recall some advanced vocabularies. At the same time, the grammar rules which you have to use while spoken English. All right. So I would say fluency is nothing when you can speak English as you can speak in your own native language comfortably, effortlessly, without putting any extra effort in order to recall and remember the vocabs to make some sense. So it is fluency, right? So as you said, like how one can become a fluent speaker. So
Yeah.
definitely it requires some steps that one has to follow in a systematic manner. First of all, he has to be very motivated from inside. I'm not saying I'm not talking about external motivator, but I'm talking about self-belief system. That yes, English is just a language; it's not a rocket science.
Mm.
Like if people can speak, I can speak as well, right? He has to find one strong reason for himself in order to learn this language. Because if he has a reason, definitely he would put his all effort in order to master this language, and he is not going to waste his time in any useless stuff, right? That single powerful reason will motivate him, guide him, and teach him the way he can learn this language. Rule number two is he should not feel shamed or bad about his mistakes and stuckness in formulas because we are not born with this language. We are not
True.
supposed to be perfect all the time. We are not born with that quality to be perfect all the time. That's not possible for anyone, all right? So,
Mhm.
uh, we are not native speaker of English. This is not our mother tongue. So, we are making mistake. We should not feel bad about it. The third thing is that we need to develop the power of vocabularies. The more we have words, the better we can explain. We can manifest our ideas, thoughts, emotions, notions, feelings, everything. That's the only thing that we are lacking with. We know everything in our mind what I want to speak, but just because the thoughts I have in my mind, I don't know that perfect terminology for that, and that's why we stuck, right? So we need to learn at least one or two vocab every single day, along with synonyms, example, and we need to use those vocabs on a daily basis. Fourth one is we should not obsess with grammar rules when it comes to initial stage. Once we are done with that of initial phase, we reach on that level where we can speak English without any fear, without any shyness and hesitation, confidently. Then after you can go for accuracy, you can work on your grammar, but don't create a trap of grammar in your initial stage. Now, fifth one is practice. People are searching for some shortcut tricks. They are so in hurry. They are not hungry to learn English. In fact, they are in hurry that I want to learn English within 1 week, 2 week, within 1 month, and that's not possible. It's
True.
not a 2020 match that you are going to get result over a night. No, it's not. You
Yeah.
have to keep patience, right? So I would say regular practice, not even practice, focus practice would allow you to get the real exposure of this language, right? The more you practice, the quicker you learn. The next one is love your mistakes. I'm not sure, but what I believe, out of 100% people, 75% people are just stuck and they don't take a step ahead because of fear of making mistake. They
Mistakes. Yeah.
feel I'm a beginner. This language is new for me. I'm new for this language. What if I speak and I'll make a mistake? People are going to laugh at me and they are going to judge me. They are going to insult me. It happened with me that I can feel, but still, I overcome with that fear, right? So forget about people. I want you to embrace your mistake with your both hands and start correcting yourself one by one. Gradually, you're gonna speak English like a flawless speaker, undoubtedly. And we are not God, we are human beings. We are more than
That.
allowed to make mistakes. And everyone makes mistakes, teachers makes, native speakers makes. There's no such guy in this world who is not making mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Next one is English speaking environment. The way we have learned our mother tongue when we were a child, we started imitating to our parents, our people around us, and we have observed. This is how we can learn English. We need to create an English speaking ambience around us, which means we need to talk a lot in English. If you are at your home, try to talk to yourself. Whatever you are doing at your home, try to speak and narrate in English. If there is any painting, just describe it. um, you can go for some online application. I hope you know there are so many other applications where you
Yeah.
can use in order
Yeah.
to yes, improving your spoken English. And just try to engage yourself into solo talk, like mirror practice, then story narration, then hypothetical situation, then you can just go for some role play as well, right? So this is how you can create an English speaking environment around you. The next one is LRWS. I hope you heard about it. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These are
Yeah.
four modules for root of English. I would say listening podcast and audiobooks, native speakers, or English teachers will allow you to train your ears in order to get the real exposure of this language. Because
Yeah.
the more you will listen, the more you will consume information that you can use for production. Right. Now, when I'm saying reading will connect yourself with this language. By reading, you can improve your pronunciation. If you read aloud, you will come across to so many new words that you can include in a spoken English. You can just improve your sentence formation, the grammar, which the author has been using in order to publish the book. Now,
Mm.
writing will improve your accuracy at the same time think in English power. Because when
Exactly.
you write, before write you think first, and this is how you can develop or inculcate or think in English habit in your day-to-day routine. Last speaking, which we are doing right now, because speaking learn by speaking only. Um,
Yeah.
if I want to learn swimming, I need to jump into the water and I need to practice. By reading book of swimming, I can't even become a good swimmer. So, in nutshell, English is a language. It's not a rocket science. You have to be keep patience. You have to enjoy the process of your learning. You have to be very dedicated and determined towards your learning, and you should not procrastinate the things. You have to do your homework. If someone is suggesting something to you, you have to put all those stuff on ground. Implementation is equally important.
Mhm.
That's how we can get fluency.
Wow. Wow, wonderful, sir. Like from beginning to end, you just explained everything. I did not even ask next question. You just completed like 360, approach. You completed all the things like SLRW technique you explained. Then you talked about fluency. How can we think? How can we practice? How can we speak? Like you completed everything. Well, sir, last question I have. I can see you pronounce well. The way you pronounce it sounds so fascinating. How one can improve pronunciation? Yeah.
Well, for this question, I would say there are two things.
Mm-hmm.
One is accent, second one is pronunciation. So
Yeah.
when we are talking about accent, that is a different game. And pronunciation is a different ball which you need to play, right?
Yeah.
Now you have to decide which one is more important for you, accent or pronunciation. And accordingly, you have to put your effort. See, pronunciation is when you pronounce a word, a single word, with the help of syllabic rule. That is called pronunciation. It is universal, worldwide accepted, because if you pronounce the word correctly, as it should be pronounced, anyone can understand you very easily, no matter from which part of globe he or she belongs to.
Yeah.
Let's come back to accent. Accent is something when you pronounce the whole sentence in your own style, in your own way, depending on your nationality, tradition, culture, the origin you have, right? And it is not universal. It has some limitation. It has some restrictions. What are the restrictions? Because the accent which I'm using could be understood by only those people who are aware of this accent. Let's take example of American accent. If you will If you learn an American accent, that's there is no crime at all. Go for it. But using that accent itself is an art. You need to understand with whom you have to use that accent. If you are using American accent and I'm not acquainted with it, it's nothing but more than a garbage for me because I'm not even understanding you. And
Yeah,
learning
exactly.
English itself is more focused to make ourselves comprehensible to the person with whom we are talking, right?
Yeah.
Second thing is accent and pronunciation are related to each other. They works like hand to hand together. For example,
Hmm.
there's a word water. In India, we say water, normal Indian accent, water, right? But
Hmm.
when it comes
Hmm.
to American, I'm not sure, but maybe they pronounce this word in this way: water,
What
water,
is
right?
water?
And in
Yeah.
British, they pronounce this word in this way: water, water. So every single accent has its own pronunciation. If the American will come to India and he will ask you, ma'am, would you mind if you give me a glass of water? So you are not allowed to say, sir, what is this water? I don't know water, water. You are mispronouncing this word. No. So you
Hmm.
need to understand that he is correct in his at his place, right? In his accent, the way he pronounced the word, that's correct. So that's
Yeah.
the second thing. Now, third thing is, I always suggest to people neutralize your accent and improvise your pronunciation. For example, I hope you have talked with people who are from southern part of India, from eastern part
Hmm.
of India, from northern part of India. They have some a little bit MTI issue in their spoken English. Means when you talk to them, you can easily recognize that they are from this part of India just because of their that
Yeah.
MTI, right?
Yeah.
So I when I'm saying neutralization, I'm talking about this one. You have to neutralize your mother tongue influence, which means the way you speak it should be neutral. No one can
Hmm.
easily identify from which part of word you belongs to, right? In my case, many times even people are a bit confused when I'm saying like I'm from India. They don't even believe on me, and then suddenly they started like, "Sir, would you mind if you speak one or two line in Hindi so that we can believe on it?" Right? So you have
Okay.
to neutralize your accent. Now, second, when I said improvise your pronunciation,
Hmm.
okay, so when I'm saying improvise your pronunciation, it simply means that you have to work upon your pronunciation. Your pronunciation should be very clear. No matter you don't have any accent, that's fine. But when you are pronouncing a word, the second
Hmm.
guy which with whom you are talking, he should not ask you again to pronounce the same word. That kind of improvising I'm talking about, right?
Hmm.
So this is all I would say. And in my case, honestly speaking, I haven't learned this accent and all because I don't believe on it. But yes, again, I started learning this language with the help of one application, and there I have talked with many native speakers around the world. And just because of that, I got a bit influence of their accent on my spoken English. And last year, I decided to improvise my pronunciation. For that, I started learning IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. There are 44 sounds which you need to practice every single day. And when
Hmm.
you start pronouncing those sounds, you start enunciating those sounds. Your vocal
Hmm.
cord, your mouth muscles, your tip of tongue, nasal sound, everything works all together. So
Hmm.
just because of that, my voice speaking becomes a little bit different the way normal Indian speakers speak English. That's all from my side. Yes, a last point I missed it. No matter which accents you follow, that's totally fine. Make sure understanding should be the top priority. If you can make
Exactly.
yourself understandable, so
Hmm.
even though you have a Marathi accent, Telugu accent, Southern
Hmm.
accent, every accent is acceptable unless it is not discomfortness to the person to whom you're talking. If he can understand you, that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm done.
That's completely fine. If they are if next person is able to understand, that's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with your accent.
Yes,
All right.
correct.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering my all questions, and you just answered me calmly one by one my each question. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for coming here. And yes, I'll connect with you once again. But as of now, like that's enough. Yes. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this privilege to me to speak with you. And thanks for connecting with me, giving your precious time. I have enjoyed a lot this session. It's really fruitful and constructive for me. Hopefully, you as well. So, some other day, we are going to talk about some other diagonals of this language, which we need to discuss about. But as of now, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Keep talking, keep shining, and keep improving. See you around.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye, sir.
Bye bye.